Okay, I think we can go ahead and get started. I'll just let people in as we go forward.
Okay, so look, let's get started. Welcome everybody. My name is Bill Cope. I've been involved with this conference since it began, and with Common Ground since it began as well. So great to see you all here. And also, I would like to welcome Jorg Krieger, who will welcome us again. Will welcome us shortly. He's the what's the word for it, Tamsin? I'm lost for the
Research Network Chair.
The chair, that's right, network chair of the research network. So great to see everybody. And just to give you a little agenda for this session, what we're going to do is a brief introduction. So I'll do a brief introduction. I'll introduce Jorg, and then the people who are in the session will get you each to introduce yourselves and perhaps tell us, if you're presenting at the conference, what you're presenting on. But I want to also start thanking the people, the folks at Common Ground, who put so much work into these conferences. Tamsin, Paige, Gillian, you can see them there on the screen. Just a brief introduction about Common Ground. You know, we have a number of these research networks which all deal in an interdisciplinary way about issues of some degree of social importance. So sport's obviously a very important area of social endeavour. Often it's fraught, often it's difficult, often there are things to debate, things to think about, things to research, problems to solve, and that's what we as scholars do. So, but what we do with the network is we have kind of a number of components. One is the conference, which is now a blended conference. It's both online and it's in person. So Tamsin tells me we've got over 100 people attending in person in Las Vegas. Our hosts in Las Vegas in person, and there's 20 people online as well. So welcome to everybody. And one of the things we try to do with the conferences is, in order to incorporate everybody, we ask the in-person presenters to be sure to submit digital media. So if you're in a session, an in-person session, and there's obviously not enough time for questions and discussion at the end, obviously we've got the online space where the discussion can continue. So that's one thing we do. We do the journal. So the journal is based on a kind of a network idea of mutual obligation. You put in papers, we expect you to review other people's papers, and that means that stuff that might have been at the conference or might have just been a paper becomes formally citable knowledge. And one of the things we do is we ask people to please cite other people's work. You know what I mean? It's a knowledge community, and one of the ways you're going to honour their work is by citing it. So they're the main ways in which we kind of interact through and we have a book series as well. So that's a quick introduction about Common Ground, and I'm going to hand over to Jorg now for a welcome.
Thanks, Bill. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, welcome everyone to this conference, or the online part of the conference. It is a bit spontaneously that I'm here online and not in Las Vegas. Obviously, the plan was for me to be there, but then a couple of kids came in between. So I'm here, unfortunately, in Aarhus. But as Bill said, I'm chairing the Sport and Society Network at Common Ground, and I'm really, really proud that I am having this role, or that I was awarded this role, because I think Common Ground is doing excellent work, and it's really an up and coming, even though it's been around for a while, but it's an up and coming model, I think, with a bright future. And so is the network. I think Sport and Society is really a vibrant and growing network, and I will tell you a little bit more why I think that is the case in a second. I'm now in Aarhus in Denmark. That's where I'm an associate professor, and that's also where the last conference took place last year at the end of June. We met here in Denmark, and we were talking about the topic of the autonomy of the body, both in organizational terms, but also on a physical level. So it was very much a sports sociological theme that we had last year. And this year's conference obviously takes place in Las Vegas for those who are physically present, with a much more sport management related theme. And that also reflects, I think, very well, or those two topics reflect very well the Sport and Society Network, because we are really looking at sports as a socio-cultural phenomenon from various perspectives, may that be sociology, history, or management, or law or medicine, for that matter. And of course, the location fits very well the theme. We're talking about professional sports and community this year in Las Vegas. Las Vegas suddenly appears to be a hub of sport as well. The NHL finals are there right now. Las Vegas is playing for the Stanley Cup. So that in itself is a sign that this city is increasingly defining itself also as a sporting city. So thank you very much for the local hosts for setting this up together with Common Ground and having a conference of over 100 participants there, as we've just heard. Bill briefly introduced what sort of the components are of the Sport and Society Network, and just want to touch on two things. He was talking about the book series, which I think we are working on with a lot of effort at the moment in various ways. We started a digital teaching pocketbook series, but we also started a Sharp Ideas series, and then we have the general series running as well. And I think that we are doing quite good work, shows that our books have now twice won in a row the Publishers' Prize of Common Ground, 2 sports books last year and this year, I believe. So I think that is evidence that we're doing well as a network. And also the journal, I think, is increasing in quality. It's now Scopus listed, and I think that triggers also much more interest and much more motivation within the academic community to contribute to our journal, which I think, is evidence that there's high quality work happening in our network. So thanks everyone who's been involved in organizing the conference online and also in Las Vegas. Thanks to the guys from Common Ground. As I said, I think this is a really, really great network in sports, but also the other networks that your guys running. And I look forward to learning more about people's presentations online and to meeting everyone virtually now, unfortunately, not being there in Las Vegas. So thanks again and welcome.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for that, that was great. And thank you for being such a good and conscientious chair of the network as well. So yes, I mean, I think what you've touched on is some really great work that the network is doing. So what we're going to do now, and just by way of introduction, I know a couple of people have just come in. And also there'll be a lot of people watching this recording afterwards. So in the nature of conferences where there's a lot of asynchronous sessions, these sessions will be picked up later by people who are both in person and asynchronously there. So, but look, just to fill in the people who have joined, the agenda is that we're going to now get the people here to do a brief introduction to themselves. If you're presenting a paper, Tamsin will put a link in the chat so people can see it. And then after that, Tamsin will do an introduction to the Common Ground Scholar platform, which will tell you a little bit about how to navigate around the conference and all the other aspects of the platform as well. So look, I'm going to go around the Zoom tiles and ask people now, if you can't speak because you're in a noisy Starbucks or your microphone's broken or some damn thing, just tell me. But if you are able to speak and introduce yourself and say a little bit about who you are, where you come from, what brings you to the conference, that would be great. So the first person I have in my tiles is Andrew Miller, who happens to have just also turned his camera on. So Andrew.
Welcome. Yes, I'm Andrew Miller. I come from Sacred Heart University, which is in Connecticut in the United States. And I direct a graduate program in sports communication and media. And together with Josh Short, who was on, I'm not sure if he's still on, we put together a presentation about name, image, likeness rules and changes in the NCAA. It's been quite the Wild West for the last 2 years and the changes that they made here. And so we did a presentation about that. And I'd like to say it's been posted online for a long time, but actually it just posted it earlier this morning, but it should now be on the site.
Okay, and look, talk about, who could have imagined the world would change as rapidly as it has in all these areas. So yes, that's a really topical and really important topic. And I can see that already when I took the link that you've had 46 people engagements on the site. So again, I don't know whether I mentioned this before, but I just want to maybe think of it to mention it. Be sure to leave a comment when you go to a page, and leaving a comment triggers an email. So even though the conversations are asynchronous, there won't be people there when you get on that page, but it triggers an email to the participants for them to come back. So for goodness sake, please do establish a dialogue there. So anyhow, look, thank you very much for being with us at the conference, Andrew. The next person I have across my tiles is Inez. Hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? How is everyone?
We're good.
Good evening or morning or wherever you are. I'm Inez, an associate professor from the Department of Communication here at the Ateneo de Manila in the Philippines, where it is currently 1:15 in the morning. So I wish I were there, but and I'm on sabbatical, so I really wish I were there. But I'm still glad to be a part of this conference, even virtually. I'm presenting a paper on sports nationalism in general, and in particular, how Filipino online commenters reacted to our win in the the girls' US Open last year, and how that triggered a set of online reactions that allowed me to look at the intersections of language, nationalism, and national identity.
Fantastic. And again, nationalism is such an important issue because sports often leveraged in these ways, good and bad, for better or for worse. So that's obviously a really important topic. And I can see you've had 66 engagements already, which is really marvelous. So welcome, and I hope it's a rich experience for you being part of the conference. And thanks for bringing that important topic. The next person I have is Andrew Bray. Hi, Andrew.
Hey everyone, my name is Andrew Bray. You might see my name a handful of times throughout the schedule because I'm one of the online-only emerging scholars for the conference. I'm an instructor of linguistics at the University of Georgia, and the talk that I'm giving for this conference is about the pronunciation of the word hockey by professional hockey players. So oddly fitting the Stanley Cup being in Vegas right now. But basically, it's a linguistic analysis of how the word hockey is pronounced and how this is actually kind of a marker for people within the hockey community to identify other players within that community.
Absolutely fascinating. So, and thank you. The emerging scholar role, by the way, is a tremendously important one, helping us chair sessions and keeping the conversations going. So, thank you very much for doing that. That's a wonderful contribution you're making, and fascinating paper. 53 engagements already. And the next one, and let me see if I can pronounce this correctly. Would it be Wojciech, perhaps? Or Wojciech?
Hello everyone, it's Wojciech.
I wasn't too far.
But you can also say in the shorter way Wojtek. It can be simpler, I think.
Okay.
But Wojciech is correct. So hello, good morning, good evening everyone. My name is Wojciech Skucha, and I'm the PhD student at the Jagiellonian University in Krakow, Poland. And right now in Poland, it's several minutes after 7 p.m. So it's quite late, but not so late. And I'm also very glad that I can be a part of this conference, especially if it comes to the fact that it is a first international conference for me. So it's a completely new experience for me. And my presentation, which is only in online presentations, is connected with the topic of human rights violations and the media image of the football 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. And in my presentation, in my research, I have analyzed how the Polish and British media, to be more precise, BBC in this case from Great Britain, how these media reported about human rights violations in Qatar during the World Cup tournament, which was held in the November and December last year. So I think it's also a quite important topic, and I'm also very happy that I can share with you this topic and my research results in this conference. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Wojciech. Yeah. I've said we've got a couple of people who've just joined. So what we're doing, folks, for the new folks that have joined, is we're going around the room briefly to get people to introduce themselves and to say, you know, who they are, where they come from, and what they're speaking about at the conference, if they're speaking. So the next one I can see, the name at the bottom is not Gio. Is that correct? If you're able
Hi,
to
not
yeah.
Gio. This is my student account. I'm sorry, I didn't know this was for speakers. I just saw this on my emails and I thought it was late for another meeting.
Okay, no worries. No, this is for anybody. If you just like, if you're a participant of the conference, just like to introduce yourself. Just people getting to know each other.
Yeah, I'm Gio. I'm currently at work. I am just excited to learn about all the different experts and participants in this because I enjoy sports and I like that technology and sports are mixing more and more. And the way of sports is going in a way that I never thought or dreamed of as a kid. And just excited to be here.
Okay, well, welcome and great to have you at the conference. And Jordan is one of the people who just joined us in this session. This is the opening session, the opening online session. Yep. Jordan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Jordan Tegmeyer. I'm an Associate Dean for Finance and Administration at Princeton University.
I can see are you a presenter at the conference?
Yes.
Yes. So do you want to mention just in a couple of sentences what it is you're looking at in your session?
Sure. So I did a study on gender equity in college sports, particularly looking at differences in participation opportunities for men and women in Division I institutions, and what institutional structures might be inhibiting or enhancing women's opportunities.
Okay, yeah, that's tremendously important. All the issues of gender are one of those critical issues in sports at the moment. So thank you very much. I see you've had 112 engagements already. So thank you very much for being here and being with us. I just want to mention a couple of things about the journal. So I did mention that we have the journal here. So I'm just going to pop a link into the chat. This is the link to the journal page. And what you can see here is that, in fact, we've got 519 publications. They're mostly journal articles, but also Jorg mentioned the book series. So this link is to the book series. And by being a member of the research network, you have access to all these papers, including the ebook versions of the books. So one of the things we do is ask people, look, use these resources. These are really valuable resources if you work in this area. And that 519 pieces of works, a huge number of works, but the advanced search button that's up there is a way to filter down to something which is going to be probably useful to you, no matter what area that you work in. So please, make the most of these resources and cite them. In academia, the best and most strongest form of recognition is that somebody's found your work useful enough to cite it in their own work. So please do that. Welcome everybody. And I think now, Tamsin, are there any other things that I need to?
No, what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and share my screen and just run through CGScholar and how to engage with the conference through the platform. And then if there's any questions for anyone, they can jump in with any questions after that. So
I'll hand over to Tamsin now. So
okay,
welcome everybody and have a great conference.
I'll just go ahead and start. I always lose the chat box. I don't know how I managed to do it, but I'm going to go ahead and just put some helpful links in the chat once I figure out where I've minimized my chat box to. So there's some links, just update information on how to update your profile, guide to the different pages, what is digital media and how to give feedback and ask questions there. So I'll just put that in there for reference. So there are a number of different ways to get to the conference microsite. The first way to do this would just be by clicking on CGScholar Event Mircosite, which is on the website, and it'll take you right there. If you go to cgscholar.com, it'll prompt you to log in the top right, which you'll just use your credentials that you use to register for the conference or submit your proposal. If you're already logged in, it'll take you straight away to your profile page there. Sorry, I'm in a hotel and I'm not sure the internet's that great right now. I highly recommend that you update your profile. I'll tell you why first, and then I'll tell you how to do it. First of all, everyone's names are hyperlinked to their profiles in the event schedule. And so anyone who clicks on your name will be sent to this page. So it's helpful if you have the most up-to-date information. This is where they'll be able to add you as a peer and make contact with you as well. So it's just if they want to reach out, it's helpful to have the most up-to-date information. You can do this a number of different ways. You can go to your name in the top right and down to account settings. If your name's not in the top right, it just means you need to log in. You can also do it this way and go down to profile and click profile there. So this is where we house all the events in CGScholar. So this will take you straight to your community page. You'll be a member of the Sport and Society community. I'm a member of all of our community pages, but you'll definitely have Sport and Society there. You'll be able to click on that there. The Sport and Society community page is kind of a hub for information about the conference, remembering to sign up for the conference dinner. You can see other people who have joined the community. We have updates in there and quick links to the conference. So there's one here for this year's conference, and there's one here for next year's conference where you can submit a proposal and register. Next, I'll take you over to the microsite. So there are a number of different ways to get to the microsite. You can click on event and just go to the most recent event, or you can go down and go to your events here. I'll just click on that there. So this about page is a little bit about the conference, exactly what it sounds like. This year's special focus, quick links to the book imprint and the journals, but we've also got this e-program and conference user guide. If you click on that, it'll open up, you can download it as a PDF, and it has a lot of information about the conference, including the welcome letters, scopes and concerns, themes about the Research Network Chair, and I'm going to scroll down to this year. You can see information about the plenary speakers and about the local hosts there. At the very end is a sort of a guide as to what I'm saying now, how do we access the conference and how to engage. So that's there at the bottom of that page. You can go ahead and download that if you want to have a look. Mine says submit a proposal because I'm not presenting at the conference, but this will say your proposal. And this is your presenter page. This is the page where you will upload your digital media. It is where you can see your proposal that you've uploaded, abstract keywords and things like that. You'll have another tab like this. It says your registration. And those are the details of your registration. Yours will look a little bit different to mine, but you can download a receipt there for that. The next tab is presentations. You will have an empty following page like me to start off with. Throughout the conference, this is customizable, so every person's profile can have a different following page. So you can create and have your own list of sessions that you're following, and I'll show you how to do this as soon as we get over to the schedule. There's certain presentations that are featured presentations, and these are our emerging scholars. We have a really great emerging scholar program, and we like to highlight their presentations. I'm going to use Michael as an example here. So if I'm interested in Michael's presentation, I go ahead and click on the title. It should open a new tab there. I can see the abstract and keywords, and then I can go ahead and watch the digital media. Now, it doesn't look like there's digital media there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this button to request digital media. I'm going to see if my internet's moving quickly. And so the presenter has now been notified of my request. What will then happen is once he uploads his digital media, I will receive an email saying the digital media has now been uploaded. You can see that I'm following this because it's prompting me to unfollow by clicking it. And so now this should be listed in my following. There it is. By theme is by the themes of the conference. By type is by presentation type. So it's poster session, parallel session, workshop. If you're interested in specifically in poster sessions, you can go ahead and scroll down there to the poster session section, which I'm not going to find. There they are. There's the posters. By alphabetical is sort of exactly what it sounds like. Special events is where you can sign up for sessions like this or the tour, which just started about 20 minutes ago. So I need to go ahead and close that now. And here's where I'd like to go through the schedule. Here we are in this online welcome and training session. I'll go ahead and click on the title there, and that will take me to the description and abstract. I assume you all found the Zoom link here. After this session, I will upload the video of the presentation here. If there's any questions, you can ask them in the discussion board there by clicking on discussion. Someone's posted something there, so let's go back. Day one. So we're starting off here in the conference. These sessions will be recorded. So this plenary panel, I can go ahead and click on that. I can see the members of the the people presenting. Geez, I've got too many P's in my talk today. And following the session, we'll go ahead and upload the video of that session here. If you have a question and you watch the presentation, you can go ahead and write that into the discussion board. Everyone who's tagged into the schedule on that session will receive an email that there's a question in the discussion board. So I might pop up. This is the in-person. No, I'll stay here. I was going to pop over to a different section, but I'll stay here. So here we have this session. This is session that's an in-person session, but we do ask the in-person presenters to upload digital media. So please look through the in-person section of the event schedule, because you could go ahead and click on this presentation title here. You'll be taken to the presentation page, and you can watch the video. Sorry, I think it's going to start with a sound over. No, okay, it didn't start. So you can do that there. If you have a question, you can go ahead and click join the discussion. If you want to follow that, you can go ahead and click follow, and then an easy way to get back to it rather than clicking through the schedule is to just go to your following tab. If you're interested in Lucas and Tom's work, you can click on their names here, and it will take you to the profile page, their profile page. And so there is some information there. If I want to, I can add Lucas as a peer, and he'll receive an email saying that I've requested him as a peer in CGScholar. One thing to note is that the discussion boards are not for the individual presentations, they are for the panel. We've themed these panels for a reason, and we like to look at the links and maybe, you know, maybe not the connections between these sessions. So you might want to watch this presentation and then this presentation and go to the discussion board and ask a question to both of the presenters in that session. I'll jump over to the online only. So online only is the same as in person, except it's asynchronous. There's no in-person presentation. Everyone's uploaded digital media. We have 2 emerging scholars as the moderators who are there to watch your digital media and to ask questions and engage in the session. Let's go ahead and click on, I'll just pick one, living and learning. So we can see when they have this view digital media button here next to the title, that's when they've uploaded digital media. Let's use this one as an example. Once again, what we can do is just request that digital media and follow that presentation. Now, what I'll do is we can go ahead and click on the title here. Andrew, this is yours, and we can watch your digital media there and then ask questions in the discussion board. I heard Bill reading out engagements before. These are the number of people who have clicked on this presentation page and engaged in that session. Let me just go through down here. Oh, one thing to keep note is I'm going to forget. I feel like I may have gone a little bit too quickly and I've forgotten something. So I'm just going to check my notes. If you need to upload your digital media, you can still do that. We have a review committee. There's a few people who review. So it won't appear right away. So you have to give us a little bit of time. We do get a notification when it's uploaded. But I feel maybe I have whizzed through a little bit too quickly and maybe you might have some questions. Does anyone have a question? No? Or maybe I didn't go too quickly then. So the discussion boards are now open. We opened them a little bit before the conference. And so when the discussion boards are open, the digital media is now viewable. We do that because there's like you and Nez, it's 1 a.m. there. So you're going to go to sleep now and we don't expect you to start watching digital media right away. Hopefully you're going to go to bed, get up and have a bit of a rest and then you can go ahead and start watching that. So we try to make it available for a little bit, a little bit longer so that people can are able to view that. If there's no questions, I'll put my email in the chat. And then if there's any questions throughout the conference, I'll try and answer them. We will be online throughout the days of the conference and we'll be sending you emails when the plenary sessions are uploaded and with a summary of each day. But please let me know if you have any questions. You can send me an email. Bill, is there anything we else need to say to wrap up a bit?
No, I don't think so. Just be sure you
leave a comment in the discussion
the conference
boards.
And be sure you always leave a comment. Go into every session, and the key is interaction, basically. So, Jorg, anything else you'd like to say, just as the last word?
No, I think I've said everything, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing everything online that people are uploading.
Excellent.
Perfect. Well, we'll see you over the next couple of days.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great conference. Bye then.
Bye.
Bye.